Fallout 4 is a large game and as such has plenty of content that has been cut, seems unfinished or perhaps even used just for testing, and in this guide I am going to go through some of these cut content. Regretfully, if you're playing on console, then you may not be able to see any of these content for yourself because I will be using console commands myself to gain access to these hidden areas. However, I will try my best to explain and describe what I am seeing. Hi, I'm Mo and I'm trapped in Fallout. As said at the beginning, I believe some of these hidden areas were purely used for testing only, not necessarily as hidden content, and the area that we're about to look at right now I think was used for testing. And to get to this area you will need to type into your console COC warehouse gun traps. When teleported to this room, so this room appears to be rather large, not exactly big but big enough, and if we observe what's on the walls, you can see that there are, as the name suggests, a lot of guns mounted on the wall, and I believe there are some over there mounted on the desk, which we'll have a look at in a moment. And it seems you can actually interact with them, so you can take them, but I won't take them just yet. As a point of observation, if we have a look at this wall here, there really isn't anything on this wall. I'll show why I made that observation in just a moment. But if I hit this button here, then this has basically set off this trap here, which has made this impact over there. So perhaps this area is used to test these gun-based traps, and perhaps to also see what effect it has on the walls as well, and perhaps even from the distance also. So if I now press the second button, then that has set off the second one, and the third one has set off a laser, and the fourth one has set off a rocket, and the final one has set off another shotgun, which I believe is probably a pipe gun from here. Yes, so this appears to have been, again, perhaps for testing purposes, what happens when someone presses this button. Does it set off each of these weapons in turn? And perhaps, I assume in the game, these buttons have basically been replaced by other, say, activation triggers like trap wires. Now, if we take a look on the ones that are mounted on the table, so here there really isn't a button for this one, so I assume perhaps this one was more to be interacted with in terms of can the player take the weapon. I assume perhaps the same with this, but before I do that, let me press this button and see what happens. So this particular one set off this trap over here, and the other two I was just simply able to take. So these ones I assume might be designed to see what happens if the player is able to directly take the weapon. And I believe there's another one over here as well. So there's a trap over here which appears to be facing directly down, and it is a sub-nosed pistol, but there are no buttons for this. So perhaps this is to judge whether a player can jump high enough to take the weapon, which in this case I can. So this is certainly a room that I think is used purely for testing wall-mounted and table-mounted weapons in terms of triggering them and in terms of actually taking the weapon off the trap. And hey, if you made it this far into the guide, then please consider clicking that like button, as that really helps the channel out and it lets me know that you're enjoying these types of guides. And feel free to leave a comment letting me know of any other hidden areas or secrets that you found, and you never know, it may make it into a future guide. Similar to other cut content that we have seen on the channel, I have stumbled across a bit of cut content that appears to be just a random building that I think probably was designed to be placed somewhere deep in the center of the Commonwealth. And to get to this particular place, you will need to type in Z Unused Theater 46A. When using that command, it will take you to this location, which appears to be an interior location. So there is a door here, and if I interact with the door, it opens, but I don't actually go anywhere. Now I appear to be what seems to be a building, probably on the ground floor. I'm not entirely sure. There aren't any windows to try and judge how high I am, but I can use these cinder blocks to go to the floor above, and when I do that, again, there's nothing on this floor as well. There is a door that I can use, and there appears to be a stairway, so let's try and go down first. and as I go down it is blocked off, so there's nothing happening over here. So now let's go back to our original floor, and now let's go back up an entire level, and when I do that there's a door here that's been blocked off, so let's go up one more level. And as I do that, this appears to be the very top, and there's another door here, and if I interact with this door again it opens, but I don't really go anywhere. So this appears to be an interior cell that's been left in the game. Again, this doesn't really feel like it's used for testing purposes. This does look like this might have been intended to be part of a particular building or an particular interior of a building that maybe you were able to access but can't anymore. But let me know what you think this building might have been used for. There really aren't any clear, easy clues to follow here. It just looks like a random building to me. Whilst I was hunting down for this cut content, I happened to stumble across an area where it seems to resemble a shelter that's been forgotten. And to go into this area, you need to type into your console command COC-Z unused fallout shelter 02. And when you do that, it will take you to this shelter. When you actually get teleported, this seems to be a rather small shelter that I'm going to assume is probably underground, given there's a latch over here. So let's quickly explore it. It isn't particularly high. It feels like if I jump, my head will hit the ceiling right away. In fact, it did. And we begin this, let's just say, description of this entire area with a ladder that has a latch. So perhaps this goes somewhere. If I interact with it, it doesn't actually do anything. But if we look around, there's a small kitchen-like area with a dining table as such. There's also a safe here that I didn't recognize before. That's interesting. And if I look around, there are some beds here that I am not able to interact with, but chances are that this might have been a sleeping area. And then there's some, let's just say, social area over here to sit down and just chill out some movies or something. So this looks like this could have easily been a shelter that you could have accessed probably anywhere in the game. Let me know where you think this might have been best to access from. But this also looks like an interesting potential player home that could have been but was never. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. I particularly actually like this one. Looks like it's totally cornered off from the rest of the outside world. Thank you so much for making it this far into the guide, and if you enjoyed it, then please make sure to press the like button, as that really helps the channel out, and leave a comment in the comment section of this video sharing your thoughts on the video. And given that you have made it this far, click on the video you see on the screen right now, as I think you will enjoy watching this one too. Hi, I'm Mo, and I'm still trapped in Fallout.